Welcome back to another episode of Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, along with my co-host, Pausha Haghighi. My guy, what's good? How have you been?
Very annoyed. You want to talk about it? We were just talking about it before we started. We might as well keep it going.
What's going on?
I can't get on Instagram right now. Every year this happens between July and August.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just like in France or Italy or doing something crazy, Greece. I don't like it. Social media it could be a little toxic. We know that already, especially during these times. These people are just eating croissants in Paris. I can't watch it. It's very annoying.
It is. I totally understand what you're saying. Obviously we've been blessed to have a baby. Reese, which is she's now 4.5, 5 weeks old. You know what I mean? So you can't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like she's too young to be traveling. Obviously, you don't feel like going anywhere traveling.
Right.
So
You guys are sitting this year out. This summer, you're sitting this one out.
it's just like we're not going to be able to travel till like late summer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, I can go places, but then like I feel guilty like going somewhere and she's just at home taking care of Rain and the baby. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, and with right now especially, she feels a way about someone else watching her just because she's so young.
Yeah.
So it's weird. To your point, I get it. It's like I get on Instagram, someone's in Paris or someone's in like Jamaica or someone's in.
Well, how do you think it makes me feel as a regular guy? Like I'm with people, I'm hanging out, and they're scrolling their Instagram. They see someone in Greece jumping off a rope off a cliff into the ocean, and I'm like, just Chipotle. Like it's not good. It's not good for me. It's just this time of year.
Why don't we just go somewhere? Why don't we go somewhere this weekend?
Sure.
What? So this was my plan was to take the boys somewhere tropical, and I just need help.
As far as
If I can have one other person with me that can just help me.
financially?
No, with the boys. I'd be taking my two kids.
Oh, I thought you said when you said the boys, I thought you meant like all of our friends. It's
No,
like a guy's trip. I was like,
I wanted to
tropical
just go
would
to
be awesome.
Miami for like 2 nights and just chill out on the beach. Just do a whole like beach day, hang out in Miami, go to a
Right.
restaurant, just kind of like relax with the kids.
I mean, I'd go with you as long as I could take a lot of pictures that I could spread out over the course of a few months. Load up the Instagram a little bit, pepper Instagram with different beach
So
pics.
this is about Instagram.
That's all it's about.
Yeah.
Sadly, I hate it. Listen, we got to get into
tough.
it.
I get it.
At the end of the pod, if you want, we could complain more about social media because I can do that all day. But let's start with Team USA. Since our last pod, they've had 3 exhibition games. Do you want to start off with the Canada game, the first one?
Well, I mean, listen. I've liked what we've seen. I think we all have liked what we've seen. Speaking for everybody, you have to. Last game looked great. Obviously destroyed them, and even the Canada game. When you look at that game from a whole, I liked what I saw. We played very, very well. At one point, we were up 20. Our top guys started to not play as much.
Are you talking about the Australia game where we only won by 6?
No, I'm talking about
Because Canada, I felt like we're pretty much in control of that game, right? I mean, the first quarter was close.
I'm talking about the Canada game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in complete control of that game.
Right.
We were up by 20 at one point.
Right.
And then they took some of the guys out at the end and they kind of started to make it more competitive, but it's like we already had our guys out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was like our third squad of that team. And KD didn't play.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played.
So, then we go versus Australia. Again, we were up by a whole lot and then they made that comeback towards the end. But that's part of what they need to go through to really get to the form that we need them to be.
Well, them going through that Australia situation got us the Serbia win.
That's exactly what you saw was the growth from that situation for guys to, whether it's wake up, be more attentive, understand, each other's spacing, where to be on the floor. They were turning the ball over.
Right.
There's all these little mistakes you kind of saw. They're cleaning all that up game by game by game by game. And then we get to Serbia where we won by 100. Now we're getting to that form that that we want to see them be at, especially to compete and win in the Olympics. Do I see anybody beating this team? I just don't. They look ridiculous.
Right.
They really do. The depth is just crazy. We're talking about some guys that aren't going to play or supreme talent. You know what I mean? Essentially, if you want to look at who's the worst player in the team, you can't do that with this team because people would say, well, probably Halliburton, but Halliburton's not the worst player of this team because he's a more effective player than Drew during the regular season.
But you would think Derek White would probably be the guy that's more happy to be there.
But Derek White, okay, I forgot about Derek White. But yeah, that's fair. But Derek White is still like a very top tier,
It's great.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, we are very deep when we start talking about the end of the bench guys being guys like Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, the best
Derek
example,
White or
the
Drew
best
Holiday,
example
like,
of
these
this
are
is
really, really good basketball players.
Yesterday during garbage time, USA's up 25. Garbage time had LeBron and Steph in the game during garbage because they don't have the third string bench guy. This team is that good where they just still had really good guys out there. LeBron's catching the one hand alley oop. They're already up 20 in the fourth quarter.
It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's refreshing to just see like us look dominant again. And again, we haven't even started, so I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But just from what I've seen so far, this does remind me of the Redeem team, just in terms of like the plethora of talent I'm looking at from top to bottom. It's just like, this is what a super team looks like. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because they chose to apparently part ways with Kawhi Leonard. Like we talked about, we had a private conversation, I believe, I don't know if it was me or you, but where someone was like, man, it's crazy Kawhi didn't even want to play in the Olympics or something. I was like, there's no way he went to Vegas and just chose not to play.
Yeah.
I was like, that was not. And then when they said the replacement was going to be a guy like Derek White, that's when I knew this was USA Basketball's decision. Because if it was just a replacement, they would have gotten Jaylen Brown. When they went to go get Derek White, now I know this is a strategic thing, I think maybe they thought, we have a lot of scoring, like a lot of guys who want to make things happen. We need plug and play guys, or guys who are okay not playing. Because Kawhi Leonard, apparently, Lawrence Frank said he looked good the first couple of days, but he said he wasn't there the third day. Something happened, and I don't know what happened, but I think through the scrimmages that they were having in the play, I think just in terms of fit, you had like four small forwards. You had like LeBron and Kawhi and KD and Tatum. You had a lot of like forwards who were score for, I think they wanted to, obviously, for a reason. Again, I don't know for sure. I'm just giving you what I'm speculating, because clearly they replaced him. They asked him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool of USA to originally even put out that Kawhi stepped away, not really putting out there for sure, confirming that they asked Kawhi to leave.
Right.
We didn't know this until obviously the interview.
And you're talking about fits, and so far they've gone with kind of the 5-man, 5-out rotation. Obviously, it's exhibition. Do you think they're going to continue that once pool play starts and the games matter? Because
no,
I know you want to see a guy like Steph play the 30 minutes if he's playing well. You don't want to see everyone getting equal time.
That's not happening.
Right.
It's like summer league, or no, it's not summer league. It's like preseason when like you will play 10 guys. You're trying to get everybody a chance.
Right.
You want to see everybody. See whose games translate well to FIBA. You really, seeing who's playing well, who's fitting in, who's shooting the ball well. You get a feel for everything, and then you kind of tighten up that roster.
Yeah.
Listen, AD has played a lot better than Embiid. It's not even close.
Right.
They continue to start Embiid.
And Steve Kerr recently said LeBron, Steph, and Embiid, those are the three, and they're going to play with the starting lineups to figure out who goes with them. I think KD obviously gets thrown in there too.
Well,
everyone's kind of forgetting about KD.
I don't know what that was. Maybe it's because KD's not going to be healthy by then, because if he's healthy, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
KD's obviously going to be that fourth guy.
Right.
And then I think Ant is the fifth.
See, I let me disagree with you there on that, because I had noticed against Australia, they started Ant and Steph together. And then against Serbia, they brought Ant off the bench, which opened up Steph in the first quarter to kind of be the main guy shooting shots, started the game with 3 threes. And then you bring that second unit with Ant scoring there, and it kind of balances out the scoring, right? Because I think the second unit against Australia had a tough time scoring when Ant was starting with Steph.
Yeah.
But I think it was smart to start Drew and Steph together. Then Steph's the one that's kind of like the focus. So you
start Drew in that?
Well, just whoever that would be. It would be KD in that spot. But
that'd
for me,
still be a fourth.
Right.
Who'd be the fifth?
Would you go Tatum and go big? I'm not really sure. But I like the fact that they brought in, you want Ant to come in and just get buckets, right? You want him to be the guy that's scoring. When he's not scoring, what's he doing? Just kind of, you know what I mean? So I think it was really smart last game that Ant came off the bench with the second unit, because when he came in, he just started getting buckets. Steph started the game getting buckets, and I think it really spread it out, opened Steph up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Ant is ridiculous, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. So first game against Canada, he subs in immediately, reverse layup, mid-range jump shot, crazy. He's just, what do you do with him?
The dude is just, if someone's like, man, you never know if like the guys are going to be able to translate the scoring. I go, brother, there's no such thing as translation with him.
Right.
You just put him in a basketball game, and he's going to put the ball in the circle.
Well, that's what I thought about like Brandon Ingram last year. I told you he would leave USA in scoring way off. He didn't even play the last couple games, right? I can't get a good feel for who would be good in FIBA and who wouldn't be. Like Carmelo Anthony, really good in FIBA. He's a stretch.
Well, he was really good everywhere.
Yeah, he's really good everywhere. You're right, but it's just different in FIBA. Ant just no one could just. I think he's just his talent is so supreme. It doesn't matter where he plays. He's one of those guys.
He's in that cloth, man. I mean, like, listen, Kerr said it last year. You could already see how his teammates react to his scoring. Like he'll hit a shot and KD's just like shaking his head. Like there's a respect for him. And it started with their run last year in the playoffs, where he like went from being like this young star to being like, yo, no, I'm one of like the new guys. I'm one of the new guys. And people like looked at that, especially, I mean, KD knows. He just went against him and they had that moment in the playoffs where he smiled at him when KD was talking to him. That was a welcome to like the superstar conversation. You know what I mean? He was already an all-star. He already achieved that. We know that. Then we saw an all-star go to a superstar. The only time an all-star can ever form into a superstar is in the playoffs. No one gives a fuck about a regular season. You do it in the playoffs. That's where you see a guy go from here to there. That's what we saw with Luka. We've seen it with now Ant. We've seen it with Tatum. There's only a couple who have done that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why originally I think people had those conversations for Book. It's gone away, and people still have a high respect for him. That's why he's on USA. But in terms of like superstar, when they made that run with Chris, people were like, oh, yo, this dude's going to be one of those guys competing for championships the next 4 or 5 years.
When you see someone doing it on the biggest stage, I think that just changes everyone's mind, right? And that's what happened with Booker in 2021.
Yeah, and I think we expected after that team, especially because they were so young. Yeah. Think about what the Suns are now. Like we were like, yo, this dude's going to be competing for championships. He's going to get one. Whether they will win this year or not, like he's going to be competing the next 3 or 4 years. And it went the complete opposite way. They just haven't been able to like get back there. Ant is in a similar position now. He's young, but his talent, bro, his explosiveness, he has things about him that, bro, like people just don't have. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody has. So it's just, and you've seen it. You see it when he's on the floor with Book and all the other guys. It's Ant's show, bro.
Well, so I want to ask you, I feel like this happens every Team USA in the beginning where everyone's too nice and passing the ball. No one wants to be that guy. And Ant's just, no, I'll go shoot the ball, right? That's the difference.
That's because he's just like, bro, that's what an alpha does, though. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, Jordan and Magic and Bird, and Bird sat down on that corner with Pac's like, I'm not even in this. I know what time it is. Magic, if you want to find out the hard way, find out that way.
Right.
They went at it, bro, but it was clear. Everybody's like, yo, it's Michael's team.
Right.
And like sometimes you have to do that. You know what I mean? Now, Ant's not doing that because LeBron and Curry, all this, are obviously on the team and it's still their show. But Ant was like, yo, listen, when I'm on the court, bro, I got to be me. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm going to be effective here. And I think they realize that. So I think when people see Book and all these other guys like moving out the way and letting Ant have the show, it's not because they're scared or being passive. I think these guys are strategically being smart. Like, yo, we can't all be on this time, otherwise it looks nasty.
Right.
They're trying to win. You know what I mean? You got Devin and Stephen and Katie. These guys are all used to the ball, all going through them. You can't all be in the mindset of what Ant has. It's great Ant has it. He's young and that's what he does and he's doing it great.
Right.
You can't all be in there but like, they're going to have to play around me. Otherwise it'd be a catastrophe. You let Ant do that. Everybody else finds ways. Devin's so tactical that he could be a spot shooter. He could be an Allen Houston for this USA team.
Right.
We don't need him to be Phoenix Devin.
Yeah, he can get his with minimal dribbles and just
two dribbles. He's very tactical, bro.
Yeah.
That's how he's always been. His shit is in like a box, bro. You know what I mean? Like he's very elite with that.
While Ant kind of gets the ball, steps back, he needs
a little bit more room. Devin can just move out the way and be like, that's how they're going to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he knows this. This is what high level basketball players know. So This is why when I see them do this, I'm like, we're going to win.
Yeah,
because I see everybody already positioned in this. So it looks good.
I love the second unit, double bigs with Bam and AD. They've been unbelievable together. Bam last game hit 3 threes. Now I'm starting to think, are Miami not using him the right way? Is he more?
I don't know, but he's looked very well. Listen, man, the mid range, just the fadeaways, the back down bump, using the glass. Yeah. I'm like, God damn, this nigga got game. Listen, Udonis Haslem was on ESPN a couple weeks ago. And he said, when they talked about who's the next young star along with Ant and Luka to be competing for championships, he said Bam Adebayo, and everybody laughed like this guy's such a homer, man. Like Bam Adebayo is not in that conversation. But he is talented as shit, though.
Right.
And he plays on both sides of the ball. So now we got to wonder, like, is it an issue where like we're not pairing him with the proper players? Because I like Jimmy, but like they do need an elite guard there.
You know what Bam is a victim of? Because people wonder why he hasn't won a Defensive Player of the Year, things like that. He doesn't get the recognition. I think he's a victim of the Heat culture thing where everyone is saying every time he's good or the Heat are good, they're like, Heat culture, Spoelstra's at it again. Maybe it's because Bam's doing really good. You know what I mean? Like, instead of him getting the credit, they have a top defense and he's a part of it. Instead of him getting the credit, the Miami Heat as an organization really gets the credit. But sometimes you should look at Bam and say, maybe he's really a big reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the Heat drafted him and Tyler Hero and all these guys, sure. But I just feel like we don't give him the credit a lot because we give the Heat as a whole the credit.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That's a good point. I mean, it is like that. It feels like anytime something happens, like, man, the Heat culture, man, they just find guys. True, but let's just give credit to the player. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's just, I guess it hurts that argument. It's like, for instance, we got to see Gabe Vincent play well. You want to see Max Strus like really play well. You want to see Caleb Martin thrive in Philly, because then we know it's not Heat culture. Otherwise, it's like people are just like, bro, everyone that plays there looks fucking good, man.
Kendrick Nunn, and then they get off him, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. But people in Miami just, bro, Spoelstra gets the most out of you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he gives everybody a senso bean before they go out there and play, and they just go crazy. It's nuts. But I mean, listen, I totally agree with what you're saying, and Bam's been fantastic. Miami has struck out for whatever reason. We had that talk a couple pods ago. In free agency, they just haven't really got any, star players as, more specifically a point guard. I like the 2 guard with Tyler Hero. I like the 3 with Jimmy Butler, and I like the 4 with Bam. That's a good 3.
We also
right
like,
there.
well, we would like Jimmy when he's healthy, and that's
yes,
the main
that's been an issue. But him not playing USA, him having a whole summer to get his, he has no excuse for his body not to be completely right next year. I mean, next year is his last straw. Yeah. If he comes out and he's missing a lot of games again, they're going to try to get off him. 100%.
Right. And we saw the Clippers, similar age to Paul George. We saw the Clippers kind of not offer Paul George
That's exactly, we're going to see it. We're going to see a situation like that.
Yeah.
Now, again, I think they'd rather pay him and trade him than lose him for nothing. Right. But it's going to be hard to do that if you don't play. You know what I mean? Jimmy needs to play, bro. And if he does, then he'll have the world again at his fingertips because he's a really, really good player. Yeah. He goes out there and puts 65 plus games together next season and then plays in the postseason. They go maybe even second round or so. I don't even know. You never know in Miami. But he's out there playing like Jimmy. He's going to get another max.
Right.
He can have the world right back in his fingers. But not playing, you start losing. You lose all that power, bro. You lose it. And then you don't know it until it's too late. You don't know until you're Paul George where you're like, wait, you're not going to give me a 4. You haven't played, brother. It happens like that. You know what I mean? So trust me, everybody's time comes in a league where, that shift of power, even for the stars, right? So you got to see Jimmy out there competing again. And we want Jimmy to be out there competing again because when he's playing, Miami's more fun to watch. And they're in the show. Boston just doesn't steamroll to the goddamn finals. We need the East to have Julius on the floor, and we need Brunson healthy, and we need fucking, all these guys healthy. OG. Giannis, Dame, goddamn, the whole East was banged up last year. Joel Embiid, you know what I mean? Right. We need to see him have a healthy postseason. So it's like,
that's my next, by the way, beautiful segue. I want to talk about Joel's struggles so far with Team USA. Do you think it's just a matter of maybe him not being in the best shape? He was coming off a big injury in the playoffs. He was dragging a little bit in the playoffs, obviously, even though he had a 50 ball. It looks like he's kind of doing like the foul baiting James Harden type of thing that doesn't work in FIBA. There's a couple viral clips of him trying to do that, and the FIBA they don't do that. So he'll get out of that quick. I think because he's tried, and a couple of them have been so blatant, and the ref just look at him, I think even he knows, like, all right, we're going to have to, we're going to figure it. Let's just go to work. It's not like he can't score the other way. That's just one way he tries to get fouls, but it's not like he's out of luck. People are like, oh, that shit ain't going to work, Joel. All right, well, he has a plethora of other tools he can use. The guy, I do believe when Joel figures this out in the next game or two, he is going to absolutely dominate. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
But you have to understand too, like Steph, right? Who was the premier offensive guy last game in that starting lineup. He's never played with a guy like Joel before. Andrew Bogut, like, you're not dumping it down. You know what I mean? So it's an adjustment where Joel's not getting probably the same amount of looks. He has to figure out how to fit in, which he's never had to do that.
Nope.
Him fouling out the first game in under 20 minutes against Dwight Powell and Kelly Olynyk was a little alarming. But like you said, this is his first time playing FIBA.
And we also, listen, we have insurance.
The insurance is AD with 6 blocks last game.
Yeah, like we have Anthony Davis, who's going to end up playing more minutes than Joel probably anyway.
Yeah.
So and
he's finishing
He's finishing the game.
Yeah.
They're going to finish games with Anthony Davis. So we're fine. You know what I mean?
But it's also cool that we can go big with Joel against Serbia, and we can also go small with AD against teams that play small ball against us too. There's so many different ways this team.
I heard a rumor that Philly might start Joel and Drummond next year.
Do you want to run through their starting lineup? First of all, they had an amazing summer. We talked about it last
They
pod.
still have 3 roster spots, by the way, 2.
Right. I mean, they're just picking up Kyle Lowry again, the hometown guy, like the Caleb Martin signing. They're just getting people left and right. I mean, they're going to be really good next year. It's all about if Joel's healthy, though.
I agree. I mean, it starts and ends with the best player. He's an MVP player. And then you got Maxey and Paul George. So you got those 3. And then if they started Andre, which, again, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That's what I heard. That would be Andre Joel. They'd be really big. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I guess it's like doing what Minnesota did.
But that's not Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns.
No, yeah, they're both.
That's not the same.
I mean, it's not the same, but they could be dominant on the glass.
Okay, well, so the matchup against the Celtics where the 4 is Jayson Tatum. Or, who's the 4 for the Celtics? It just wouldn't work.
The 4 for the Celtics is
Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Drummond out there, 54, 30 feet. I mean, listen, I think Andre Drummond has had a hell of a career. I don't picture him on the perimeter against the guy like that.
You're speaking to the choir. I'm telling you what I heard.
You're just dropping your little rumor. This is a rumor mill.
So rumor that I heard, and I wanted to see what you thought of it. And I want to see
just got what I thought of it, and I don't like
who would even be your third in that group?
What is this, the 90s? I'm not starting Oakley and Ewing. Like, this is not the way it's going down.
I want to know who would be your. So even if you had those 2 with Maxey and Paul, who would be your?
I mean, who's this? Is Caleb Martin? Is it Kelly Oubre? Is it Eric Gordon? They have so many different ways they can go.
Yeah, they're all wings, so it's perfect.
Jared McCain, it's too early.
I don't know. He doesn't play, I don't think.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry was backup point guard.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're trying to win next year. I think Jared McCain is going to spend some time in the G League, and I think Jared McCain is going to spend some time, especially games that Kyle doesn't play. They're going to play Jared.
Yeah.
Jared's going to play next year. Is it going to be a consistent backup role? No. Kyle Lowry's the backup point guard. All right. Yeah. He's just too experienced, and he's perfect at this point to be a backup guard. He's just now transitioning into that. So, to ask him to go 6 minutes a half, Kyle Lowry can give that to you still. Right. What's going to happen, though, is just Kyle Lowry's not going to play 82 games next year.
Right.
And there's also going to be some games where they might go Jared's way, just to develop it.
It's a long season. Those dog days of January where you're on the back-to-back and
Jared
people are injured.
Will play then. They'll play then.
Yeah.
He'll play then. So he's going to get some time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then their backup 2 would be Eric Gordon. And then you have Caleb Martin and Oubre, one of which will start, one will come off the bench.
Right.
And that's who they're going to put around Paul George. They don't have a lot of shooting.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Maxey's a good shooter, but he's not
He's
what you're.
Scorer,
I know
though.
He's a scorer. It's a different kind of shooter.
Yeah, you got him and PG have to shoot the shit out of it next year.
Yeah,
because it's like Kelly Oubre and Caleb Martin are capable 3-point shooters. They're not. You know what I mean? They're not like shooters.
Yeah,
that's it. Eric Gordon's their best shooter.
Well, so I want to make sure you still like the Knicks over them to compete against the Celtics next year.
I do.
Do you like everyone taking the pay cut? Because you told me last episode of the pod, you don't love when people are taking pay cuts for other players, but the Knicks, since they're all college roommates or whatever, it seems like they're all taking a little less. Brunson and it says like Mikal Bridges is going to do the same.
Man, listen, if it leads to winning, then I'm all for it. But if they don't win 10 years from now, Jalen Brunson's going to be like, fuck me, man.
You're right.
I mean? I could have $100 million more, $115 million more.
I saw a tweet that said they don't teach economics in Villanova. Like, these guys are out here just all taking pay cuts. And
here's my thing. It's, first off, respect to Jalen Brunson. I had tweeted when he did it, or I had commented on the Instagram, somebody's post. I don't even remember who it was when they announced this. I said, they better build him a damn statue there. If they win, what this guy has done in terms of just being unselfish, I haven't seen. You don't see it in business, let alone professional sports ever, right? And just for people not understanding, like, to take a $10 million pay cut is a lot. We're talking about $10 million, people. To take a $20 million, to take a $50 is insane. It's almost unheard of.
Right.
And the guys who do are guys like Stephen Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, guys who have made 4 max contracts before and they make it off the court as well. We're talking about guys who have $600-700 million, bro, like KD, LeBron, Steph. Those guys have too much money.
Yeah.
Those guys can take pay cuts if they want to choose. LeBron threw it out there for the summer. No one baited. He said, all right, I'll take it back.
Fine, I'll take it.
Fine, I'll take it. So it's like, you don't see it, right? And we're still talking 30, 40, $50 million pay cuts. To take $100 million, and it's plus 100, by the way, it's like 115 or something like that, $1 million pay cut, it's like, damn. Very unselfish, but it's almost so unselfish, we're like, so
it's crazy.
It's a lot of money, man.
Also, this is a guy that went to a team where a lot of free agents over the last few years, over the last decade or so, were afraid to go to New York and rebuild that franchise, right? Like, there's a lot of media there, this and that. He went over there and embraced it.
So here's my issue, okay? I'm going to ask you this. Since Jaylen does this, right? He signed the 4-year deal. And 4 years from now, if he's still, an elite player, he'll sign another one, right? At that time, when that's up, he'll be like 34, 35. He'll probably still be really good, but he's not going to be, we're going to see like every star, right? There'll be like that time, like what James Harden is now. Or maybe not even James, because James is still
like
pretty
Chris
damn
Paul a
good.
couple years ago. That's
like Chris Paul a couple years ago. Are you going to give him that max? No, you won't, because it's business.
Right.
And that's my point. Yeah. So they get to do it. That's why I don't like when you leave too much on the table, because they won't give it back to you, bro.
Yeah. And this isn't a situation where we talked about last episode where Dirk took less for the Dallas Mavericks to acquire other players so he could win another title. But you knew at the end of the day, Cuban was going to get Dirk's back. Like, Dirk's going to make that money up somewhere in the Dallas community.
I don't know what exactly, and I don't want to put anything out there like that because that is illegal. So we're not. But exactly.
You just knew Dirk was going to be good.
Besides the fact that Dirk had already made, he played for so long and was making still like top tier money, man.
Right.
So even when he took pay cuts, it's like Tim Duncan doing it. The guy was still making like 30, 40. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And at that time, yeah, bro.
But didn't Tom Brady take a lot of pay cuts too? And then, now he just sounds like a $300 million deal with Fox, so he'll be all right. But
that's Tom Brady, bro.
Yeah.
Again, these guys are like billionaires, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look, the names that we're putting up there, we're talking about Jalen Brunson. He was a first-time All-Star last year.
Right.
You haven't signed for him. Brady and Dirk and Tim Duncan. Look at these names. These guys signed like 5 maxes, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like they could take whatever. By the way, all those guys that we name have their own sneaker and all type of shit off the court, bro.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is a lot, but he is a first-time All-Star last year. And he blew up because he was killing. But that was his first year playing at that level. The years before, he was really good. He was great the year before at the Knicks, and he was really good with Dallas.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. But he rose to a level that we had no idea he could raise to this season. And he put everybody on notice that he's a top-tier guard. With that being said, it's his first time doing it.
Yeah.
That's just it's just $100 million pay cut. I'm just telling you. And all I'm asking is the same thing when Chris Paul wanted that max from the Spurs, or I'm sorry, from the Suns a couple years ago. And they're like, no, we're not giving you that. Yeah. Or whatever was with the Clippers. And he wanted, and they, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, I just think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of money. And, I hope it ends up being worth it. Now, the trade-off is, listen, if they win championships, then I'd say job well done, Jalen, because it's going to come back from tenfold on the streets of New York.
You win a championship in New York.
Streets of New York is crazy. What does he make?
Streets of New York.
On the business side of New York, of just being like a guy who took that much money less and putting in that type of work on a nightly basis.
Yeah, you're Derek Jeter.
yeah, more than that.
Yeah.
The Knicks, they've been waiting on them to win forever, bro. I mean, good God. There would be a huge statue of Jalen out there. You know what I mean? Shit. So, I mean, listen, it's personally, I think that's something I wouldn't do. I would take a pay cut, though, if I'm trying to win. I'm down with that. I hate saying that because, he did make $100-something million. Like, is that not enough? It's plenty. It's more than enough. Well, it's just like, bro, you left $100 million on the table.
Okay,
that's a lot, bro.
As a non-athlete, my perspective, and you can help me out with this. I hear guys in the NBA that are like Kevin Herter, that's like, man, I'm making $17 million a year to play basketball. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And then you hear other guys that are like, I want every single dollar. I can't believe they're not offering me the max. It's just two different perspectives, right? Some people are like, I'm making so much to play. Like, you'll hear these comments, easiest, best job in the world. You hear other players that are like, I can't believe they didn't give me that 4th year, and offended. And they wonder also, it is, as a guy looking from the outside in, it does look like there's just two different kind of perspectives on that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, is Jalen Brunson making enough? Yeah, he's going to make $27 million next year to play basketball.
Yeah, it's not like
I'm just saying, like, he could be making 50.
Yeah.
He could be making 60 million. And I'm saying if you can, just do it because our window's short, Jalen. You know what I mean? Like, even if you play another 10 years, Jalen, that's still like, that's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's it after that. Now, again, will he make money after that? Yes, because he's going to end up being a Knicks legend. He'll be on TV somewhere doing whatever he wants. He's Jalen Brunson, right? But still, making that type money, brother, it's only now. And like the point is, I brought up the Chris Paul thing because they're always going to do what's best for them.
Right.
It's a business for them.
Yeah.
So it has to be for you too. Now the trade-off is he's trying to win. I love that. I'm not saying you couldn't. Could you have done that still without taking $100 million?
Well, also, if you're him, you got your dad on the bench. You have your best friends on the court with you. He's like, and I'm in New York City. Pinch this guy. It's a dream come true.
No, he has everything going right now. This might be the best basketball situation for a star I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
He has his dad on the bench who's best friends with the coach. They let him rock out. He is killing. He has all of his homies on the team with him.
Yeah.
He's the man of the team for the New York Knicks in New York, making still $30 million a year.
So whose situation do you like more? That where Jalen Brunson has his dad here and his friends on the court with him doing his thing? Or
make it 30?
LeBron James with his podcast host coaching and his son out there with him? Which one? They're both pretty cool situations.
I'll take LeBron. He makes 60 next year.
Okay. Well, he tried to take a pay cut though.
Yeah, but their team was far away, and I don't think one star was looking at that like, I'm not going to make a difference. Right. I'm not going over there. So I think the Lakers are more than a star or two away.
Yeah. Let's get into the Summer League talk. I want to start off by saying, or asking you, I wanted to know your own Summer League kind of history and your experiences. I remember you coming back your second year. I think you played 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah. So just kind of walk us through your own Summer League experience and what that's like, what a player goes through.
Well, second year, you have to be on like demon time. If you're playing second year, it's like you got to be out there. Listen, you're only going to play a couple games. And you're supposed to kill. It's supposed to be on purpose. You don't go out there and play both games and have 10. Otherwise, you're going to play that third or fourth and fifth game.
Right.
You got to go out there and dominate and make it clear, like, yo, I shouldn't be out here.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I came out here to let y'all know that I got better from last year to this year. You're supposed to have some type of growth. That just shows right there within itself when people are like, he could have stayed one more year at college. Staying one more year in college is not going to help you get more prepared for the NBA than going to the NBA right away and playing in the NBA that year. I got more prepared to be in the NBA after playing one season with New Orleans than I would have if I played at Duke for a second year.
Right.
That's why I went back to Summer League and it was just like 2 different people. I was just dominating. Played versus the Knicks. I think the opening game had like 20-something. Like 26.
That, yeah.
I was just dribbling through the lane, just doing all type of stuff. Yeah. Like you're supposed to dominate. That's just what it's going to be. So, I mean, it was, it's I enjoyed it much more my second year. My first year, I wasn't healthy. I had a bone spur. And I tried to play through Summer League through it before they canceled me in like 4th game because I couldn't move. It was like swelling up. And people who know they have a bone spur in their ankle, it is so painful to like even bend down.
Yeah.
So I was
so why'd you play through it? You just wanted to...
Man, I was a 10th pick and I wanted to play in the Summer League, bro. And I like wanted to see if I could play through it. And they wanted me to play. Opening game, I'm on with Damian Lillard, bro. That's my matchup. This guy comes out and just hits a deep 3. Bang! I was like, bro, I'm sitting here like, uh-oh. I'll be honest, though. That was a fun game. My first shot went in, too. So I come off. And I was not a good 3-point shooter at that time. Not from the NBA range. That's what I used to shoot crazy for him, bro.
Yeah.
Both hands almost.
I mean, you're 2 years removed from high school.
I launched that thing. That's just I was like,
yeah, NBA is easy.
I was like, this is nothing, man. Yeah, no, my foot was on fire, bro, and I just wasn't ready. And then I played like 2 or 3 games, and ended up getting out of there. So the second year was very important for me. But yeah, you could take a lot from Summer League, and sometimes you can't take everything from there. You know, it's a good thing.
It's crazy. You'll see the Josh Shelbys and some of these guys that get MVP, and it doesn't translate. And then sometimes you'll see like Damian Lillard got MVP of Summer League. You know what I mean? Or Blake Griffin got MVP of Summer League. So sometimes you're like, okay.
There are signs. I saw it early with people saw it early with like Donovan Mitchell. He went. Remember, he like came in the Summer League. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, this dude's talented."
Right.
And then even like Kuzma, a guy who was under the radar, but then had that really good summer league with the Lakers. People like, can this guy play? Max Christie had a really good summer league, and that's how he got on. You know what I mean? Like it sometimes does translate. It's a good sign to see. Listen, if I could take either or, I'd take him playing well. All right. I don't want him not play well and then hope that somehow he figures it out in the league. It's nice to see guys play well in the Summer League, bottom line. So to the people like, it doesn't matter if Bronny doesn't play well. It's the Summer League. No, it does matter.
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all because he has the real games to come. So that's the truth. But let's not dismiss the Summer League like guys out here putting in work don't mean anything. It absolutely means something. That's why the fuck everyone's there. And that's why we have it.
But you went to the first Wembley game last year and it was brutal. And he had one of the best rookie years we ever remember.
Exactly. That's why it's not the first off, that's such a here's the thing, man. There's a difference between someone like Victor having a rough first game or a rough first 4 or 5 games and someone like Bronny or somebody else. The potential and skill factor that's just in a Victor type player, we know eventually it was just going to click. Did we think he was going to dominate last year? He did, no, but we knew it was going to come. That's why the hype was all there around him, right? Versus a guy like Bronny, who's more of a specialized player. You want to see him a little bit more bright spots. But to your point, again, it's not the end all be all. Yeah. Bronny could easily go play in the regular season, hit a couple of threes. His confidence just goes through the roof. Now he's starting to shoot the ball better. You put a couple games together. He's finding some backdoor layups and fast break point. Just the little things can get Bronny going. So it's not the end all be all. Just because Bronny's having a poor summer league.
Obviously the second pick, Alexander Sarr, was 0 for 15 the other day.
That's not going to. He's bad to play a regular season, man. Where that guy's going to play 25, 35 minutes a game. All right, and they're not competing for anything, so he's going to get to go out there and play and run around and do all types of stuff. He ain't going to be going 0 for 15 every game. He's going to have some good games next year, and he's going to have opportunity to play.
Right.
So.
He's going to get some probably easier buckets in the NBA.
In those extreme cases, I don't think the Summer League is definitely the end-all be-all because they're going to be playing so many minutes, Pausha. That's what I'm saying. A guy like Bronny or some of these other guys, bro, you have to play well in the Summer League. Max Christie had to play well in the Summer League to make the Lakers. That was a big part of his development, was going out there and hooping. The Summer League matters. For the people, it doesn't matter. It does matter. Does it matter or is it the end-all be-all? No, because there's a regular season. But it is way more important for the 99% of the league. If you want to talk about the number 3rd pick in the draft, it's still important, but that guy's going to play 30 minutes a game next year.
Right. He has a few years. They've invested in him.
So he's going to get he's going to get his chance. For everyone else, bro, the Summer League is the first start, bro. You got to show something here. Otherwise, you go to camp and you're already we don't know if you're going to be a guy that's in the rotation.
Yeah, and you always tell me too, like you said, when a guy comes back for his second summer league, they need to just. I watched Tyrese Maxey in his second summer league.
But
it was automatic.
He played 15 minutes, man, and then they're like, get him out.
Right.
Get him out.
So are you a little surprised that Brandon Miller played summer league?
I was surprised.
Because you can't say this guy's untouchable in trades, but then also throw him out there in the summer league.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love that Pajinski played. He just got done with USA. And he was like, man, I'm going to go hoop.
Yeah.
What the fuck else am I going to do?
KD showed up for second year.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to go play. Yeah. It's not even about whether I need to. I don't need to be cool.
Right.
I don't need to pull up, the second year guys who don't want to play, pull up their gear and something bro. You know what I mean? While the other young guys are still having to play.
Right.
I love the guys that just go out there and compete, bro, and play. You're only going to play a game or two, and then you're done. But go show the world how much better you are this year than last year. Go out there and fucking compete.
And you're getting the green light. So Jet Howard, this is his second summer league with the Magic. He's coming out there. He's pulling it.
Pulling that shit, bro.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, go out there and do something, man. Right. You come back second year. Listen, unless you were Victor, something like that, where you are the entire franchise and you dominated and that guy doesn't need to play. But if you're everyone else, even Tyrese Maxey at that time, who was a really good player, but still was coming along. Bro, you playing Brandon Miller. He's going to be a future all-star. But him playing those first couple games, you just saw, this dude is just much better than everybody.
It's interesting, too. Cam Whitmore won MVP of Summer League last year. He's back in it this year.
Yeah.
So it's just tough. Obviously, you want to see the second-year guys better.
Is more minutes. It's just tough. And
he is just a freak athlete. Some of the highlights, an explosion. It's just... I hate to bring up the NFL conversation. That guy could play in the NFL. I got a hunch, man.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. He's a 0.11% of the most athletic person.
He is a freak athlete.
Yeah. What players have stood out to you so far
in the summer league?
Yeah.
Well, I loved what I saw from Jared McCain overall.
Yeah.
Reed Shepherd has been fucking killing.
Yeah, we have to talk about him. He's so impressive. So I know it's summer league. I obviously take it with a grain of salt. He looks first of all, just a very good shooter. Catch and shoot off the dribble.
Yeah, he's got a clip.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had a handle like that though. He's got a tight.
Are you talking about the pullback on connect?
He's very Mark Pricey. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
he's the second coming of Mark Price. People are like, "Who's that?" Do your research.
Yeah.
You said that the other day. When you said that, I was like, "That is a great comp."
Yeah.
People who don't know, Marky Mark was disgusting.
How does Reed fit with this current Rockets team? With the Jalen Greens and
I think he's he's a plug and play with Van Fleet. He's gonna take Van Fleet's spot.
Yeah.
Now, to start the season, he's not going to start, but Fred's going to start. Fred VanVleet will be their starting point guard next year. And then the year after that, it will be Reed Sheppard.
Yeah.
But next year, his first year, he will come off the bench, his first year in the NBA. And they're going to tell Fred, we need you to help him. We need you to help him.
Yeah. I mean, we gave you a pretty good deal, Fred. We gave you a pretty
good
deal.
By the way, that's why we paid you what we paid you.
Yeah.
We paid you $40 million, not to get us to the playoffs, Fred, because we haven't done that. All right?
Yeah.
It's not for you to be an all-star because you're not that. Right? Fred's a good, solid, starting NBA point guard. That's what he turned into. And that was by everyone's surprise. He wasn't a guy coming out of college. Everyone's like starting point guard. Fred really had to get it out the mud.
Right.
He can teach a guy like Reed Sheppard, a top pick, a whole lot of stuff that he had to find out. You know what I mean? He's played at the highest level, won a championship. He's seen a lot in the NBA. He is a guy who is perfect. Even, let's be honest, Reed's kind of an undersized. Fred has made a living being undersized. There's just a lot of things there that he could teach a guy like Reed Sheppard.
Right.
So I think it'll be a good, important learning year next year. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to probably finish some games just because, we'll see where they're at competitive-wise. But, Fred's going to help him develop into that point guard that they want him to be and what they drafted him to be. Come year 2, Reed Sheppard will be the starting point guard for the Houston Rockets, if everything goes well.
Yeah.
So, and if he dominates early on, then he'll take it even sooner. Don't let that dude come in next year and just start cooking in the league. They're going to be like, we're going to give this spot to him now. You know what I mean? Why wait?
Right.
But they'll start out with Fred because that's just what it's going to be. I think it'll be good for them. I think Houston has a lot of young talent in a draft that people were like, this might not be the strongest. It looks like some teams have been able to find some guys that we're seeing in Summer League so far and be like, okay.
Well, so everyone goes into it, and we've talked about it before. Yeah. So I want to get to him too. Big fan of his, and we both were. But in a draft like this where we're like, this isn't a good draft, when you do draft a guy and he is hooping in Summer League, you're probably feeling pretty good that you could get this out of what is everyone looking at as a weak draft.
Yeah.
Modest Buzelis has a dog in him. This guy is punching on people, staring down people. He already called it the number 1 pick multiple times. I think the Bulls got a good one here. Does he remind you of anybody? He's good.
I hate people are gonna listen.
Don't do it.
He does. He reminds me of like a prime. He reminds me of like what Chandler was.
Oh,
he just does. Chandler used to dunk. Chandler used to sneak punch on people all the time because he's 6'8". He used to get to the lane and dunk on some people. Had a nice little 3-ball. Could do it off the dribble, especially in a tight space.
Right.
Great straight line driver. And Chandler had one of the best pump fakes in the NBA. That fucker would get to the top of his toes, bro. And he lived off of
him and Sam Young. Remember Sam Young?
Sam Young's pump fake was insane. And the fact that couldn't shoot and people still jumped made it even more insane.
Right.
Sam Young wasn't even a 3-point threat.
Yeah.
And he still got people with that pump fake. But yes, Chandler had a great pump fake. And, when I see Buzelis, I see flashes of that. I see him being that.
Yeah.
Guy who's shooting threes, cutting, driving, getting tip slams, backdooring, dunking on people.
Well, like you said, a motor and things like that.
Got a motor. Chandler, pre-$90 million contract, Chandler was a very good basketball player, bro.
Right.
He was I know he had a lot of injuries too. I'm just being funny. But yes, prime Chandler Parsons, people can say whatever they want. You go back and actually look at that. He was actually you go back and look at his Houston years, his last few years with Houston.
Of course.
Chandler was one of the best roll swing players in the league.
Yeah.
So that is when I see Buzelis, I think there are
and the same thing him and Chandler have in common is they don't have the prettiest handle where they're out here shaking and baking, but they also just have a good enough handle where it's solid, they're not getting ripped, and you could play and make at that 6'8", 6'9".
At that size, you get a couple, cut off behind the back and just get in the lane. That's all you need. I don't need you to do a double in and out crossover. You're not 6'3". You don't. He doesn't need that.
That's only for the Kyrie Rivers and the Dillinghams.
Yeah, those guys need that. But I guarantee you, if they were 6'10", they wouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? All you need is a couple little moves, and then this guy is right near the glass, scooping you with a layup. So I see Buzelis, and I like his fucking attitude.
Right.
He's got an ego about him. He talks shit. He's fucking dunking and staring at people. He's yelling at the crowd. I like that. Yeah. I love it. It tells me that he thinks he is that guy, which is a huge thing. It's a huge factor.
Yeah.
The G League Ignite was, just wasn't a success.
Yeah.
To the point where they got rid of the team.
Yeah.
So that didn't help. With that came that stench of question, which got his slot dropped back. But now we're seeing why it was there in the first place. And sometimes we get too caught up in the why and what.
Yeah.
Is he good? Does he have talent? So listen, Bulls got to be happy with this. You got him, you got Kobe. It's a start. They're going to get Zach out of there. How, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got to play next year.
And then, obviously you got to get off Vooch too.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's coming.
I mean, Vooch makes 20 a year. Zach makes a lot more. It's kind of tough to get off these guys, these big contracts. You're going to have to throw some picks with it.
That's the problem because they're trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
That's why it's tough to be an NBA exec.
Yeah.
Pay you the big bucks to figure that one out. But yeah, no, I like Bucelis. There's been some talent.
I like the big man Khalil Ware for the Miami Heat drafted. Of course, the second the Miami Heat drafts somebody, you're like, well, they must be good. The Heat knows something.
By the way, James played. Everybody's like, why is he out there?
Yeah.
He had like 20-something first game. Everybody's like, why is he out there? Because the motherfucker want to hoop.
Right.
And he wants to show people he got better. He's not going to play the whole summer league. Shit, he'll probably play 2-3 games of Miami. He might end up playing 3-4.
Yeah.
But he ain't.
So what happens though? You play those 2 games and then the rest of it, you get to kind of just be there and
But you
hang
have a
out.
good
And
time.
it's a cool place to be when you're in your early
listen,
20s.
You play the first fucking couple games. You go crush it. You come in focused. You don't go out. You stay in your fucking room. You're not gambling. You ain't doing shit. You work out. You do your stuff. It's a business trip, man.
Right.
You crush those 2 games. James, we're going to shut you down, man. Way to play, brother. We'll see you at camp. Party time. I'm in Vegas. I did my thing. I'm going to go out tonight, have a great time with my friends and teammates, the older guys who are back in town, the vets. Wake up the next morning, have a nice little breakfast, probably catch a workout in, and go see the guys play at a game. It's a great time. And you network. You meet everybody in the business. You shake hands.
That's another thing too. Every corner, if you've never been to summer league and you're a basketball night, you gotta go. You go to the Wynn lobby, and everywhere you look, it's just an NBA
you
exec,
just go shake
NBA
hands and
player.
meet people, man.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake young guys meet, they shake hands and they just keep it pushing because they think everybody wants to meet them. It's like, brother, you don't even understand who you're talking to.
Right.
These are the guys who run the league.
Yeah.
All these little dudes you see in the lobby that you think aren't important, man. These are the guys who are in the front offices and part of management and all type of stuff.
You bump shoulders with somebody, that's Jeff Weltman.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic. He's pulling all the strings.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you have to be able to not only shake hands and search yourself, but to network, learn stuff, be vulnerable, put yourself out there. It's a good chance to just make good connections and friendships, build that organically in a town where everyone's looking to do the same as you. So it's a good time to go back. I like when they bring the second-year guys back. I think it's a good thing the NBA does. They know they're not going to play them a lot. They'll play a game or 2. And then that's it. I don't think a guy like Victor should play, but everybody else, even if you're a guy who was first team all rookie NBA, okay, cool. Go play 2 games and be done with it. It's the same as playing pickup. So,
well, it sounds like Kyrie Irving just had surgery on his hand. He hurt himself, during a workout or something in the offseason too. So it could happen anywhere.
that's my point.
Yeah.
So, like, if he needs to play summer league, let him play.
Right.
And I think it's a cool thing when they do. Shout out to Bajinski who played. I love Haghighi played. I love Brandon Miller played. I think it's corny, bro. When, like, if you ain't the fucking rookie of the year and you come back on some cool shit, it's like, why aren't you out there?
Right.
And I'm not saying names. I see that shit every year, bro. I see guys come back. If you like my class, if you ain't Damian Lillard or Anthony Davis, you should be out there on the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it could be so good for the following year. Last year I saw Andrew Nembhard and he was killing for the Pacers. And I remember saying, this guy shouldn't be here. He's too good. Look at the season he had.
That's my
He's
point.
a breakout star.
It's just
He's
a good
third in the
starter
conference
pack.
finals.
It's a good start.
Yeah,
It's a good,
so you
like,
can see when a guy, when it all comes together for you like that. Yeah.
It's more important for the second year guys. If anything, you need to show why you're not supposed to be here. Play 2-3 games, and then you can go party, do whatever else, be on some vet shit, pull up to the games in your little fucking summer fit, get league fits picks. Do your stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But do your work first. And I think it's really cool that Brandon Miller, who actually had a really good rookie year, especially the way he finished, just went out there
and
and
like you said, Bajinski just didn't need to be. He
just got done with USA. They told him, hey, man, you could go home. This is a guy who's in the rotation, by the way. Especially after coming off of USA. Kerr's there, seeing his boy there. That playing next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could have just went the home or went to Vegas and been on some, like I said, some good time shit. He's like, no, I'm about to play.
Right.
So they played a couple games and then they shut him down. But he went out there and he got busy. He went out there and punched one. Like, that's another thing too. It's one thing to show up and play and be on some cool shit. It's another like to go out there like, no, I'm going to compete.
Right.
I'm going to show y'all why I'm not supposed to be here, why I was at USA. I think that's dope.
What are your favorite memories just watching Summer League over the last 15, 20 years? What stands out to you?
I remember watching that damn Zion game. I remember where I was at because
I was there.
We haven't seen a hyped player like that since LeBron. And this fucking guy, poor Kevin Knox, he just comes up. I mean, that clip, bro, of him yanking that ball from him. And you see the power of him just go to the rim
power.
and
There
dunk.
was literally an earthquake.
There was an earthquake. He's yelling, you know what I mean? And the whole gym went crazy. You know what I mean? That was something I was like, man, this dude is going to be. I mean, I remember watching that game and me and my boys looked at each other like, holy shit. This dude was like I mean, you never see nothing like it.
Right.
It's like the best football athlete, the best NBA athlete had this Zion baby. You know what I mean? Like he was built like a linebacker, but was an NBA player.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the, and then obviously I went to LeBron's first summer league game.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was going to say. First off, for those listening, growing up in Orlando like you and me did, Orlando Summer League was the treat, the unbelievable thing that we got to do every summer. We always got, obviously, it was a very like intimate gym. It wasn't anything like Vegas Summer League.
No, it was no public.
We were sitting there right on the court. You were sitting there right courtside, and you get to see all the things. And that was always one of my favorite things. We saw LeBron. They actually moved that to the Amway because it was LeBron James 2003. That was in the arena, that Summer League, the first game. And I remember seeing Dwayne Wade, TJ Ford, all these guys. And LeBron's game was the last game. And it was just the craziest thing to see that. But man, bring the Orlando Summer League back.
That was an intimate, Orlando Summer League was all about just hoops. There's no fanfare, nothing, only NBA personnel and media was allowed in there. Strictly business. Yeah, LeBron's first game, they put it in the Amway because they needed for that to be, they're like, we'll give an exception to LeBron. How crazy is that?
Yeah. That was in the arena for sure.
So that was fun. Yeah, so that was some of my memorable Summer League games. I remember going to see OJ. I went and watched OJ's first game. I went and watched Derrick Rose. All those guys were in Orlando for their Summer League game. I definitely went and pulled up.
Man, the OJ Mayo hype. The guy was just, people don't even talk about anymore. You forget
I know. People forget who
in high school, how good he was throughout his high school career. When he's a sophomore, they were talking about him being the best player regardless of class.
No, they're saying he was going to be Kobe.
Yeah.
Because he had the game like him, walked like him, kind of looked like him a little bit low key. He was, in high school, he was like our Kobe. You know what I mean? Like, obviously Kobe was the Kobe, but I'm saying the mini one was like, no bullshit. At one point, they're like, yo, you got Mike, then you got mini Mike, which is Kobe, and then you got mini Kobe, who's going to be this young kid named OJ. Like, that's what the rumors were, bro. Like, and then you had Billy Walker, just Dominique Wilkin windmilling everywhere.
They were a show.
They were a complete show, bro. People used to come watch them play. What was their team called again? They were baby blue. They had those big baggy shorts, bro. Shorts went down their fucking ankles. TJ Ford shorts. I forget what they're, some team based out of Cali. I don't know what they were called, but they were nasty.
I want to say D1 Greyhounds or something. Did I make that up? That sounds familiar. That sounds good. I feel like I just pulled that out of nowhere. We have to look that one up.
Was D1 based out of North Carolina?
I'm not sure. But I remember Billy Walker was Vince Carter.
No, he was. He was like a little baby Vince Carter out there.
On just no steps at all, off vert, through the legs, windmills, whatever he wanted. Yeah.
No, his dunks were serious,
He reclassified, went to Kansas State with Michael Beasley.
He actually was hooping there.
Yeah.
He had a little time with the Knicks.
Yeah. But no, OJ Mayo was the man. I remember the mystique. I saw him at Disney play at Nationals, and it was him versus Marcus Jordan, and everyone. Michael Jordan was there.
Back gym.
Everyone, everyone came.
That back right corner.
You were both there. I don't think we knew each other. Everyone in Orlando came to see.
I
OJ
didn't even know you when we were both there.
Yeah, but everyone was there. That's one of those
back
things.
right corner.
Yeah.
They packed that thing, and then Mike came in.
Yeah. Mike and Charles Oakley, they roped them off.
They were like, bro,
have you ever seen a VIP rope in the stands? Hey, you can't. There was a rope
on the
around
court,
him.
Remember? But they roped that little part off.
A little something off for him, yeah.
That was a treat, though, bro. Even seeing Michael come, that was no social media.
Yeah.
So to see Michael come to a game.
These were really before hoop mixtapes, too. OJ didn't have this crazy hoop mixtape. They get some grainy footage of him doing some stuff, but.
No, that was like, so, seeing these guys in person, it just meant more. You know what I mean? It's not like where I can go and see my favorite high school player right now on his Instagram Live and comment at him. Like, didn't see these guys. Seeing Michael walk into a gym, bro. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah. Speaking of high school kids, really quick, the best player, AJ DeBansa, I hope I'm saying his name right. What is that?
He's really good.
He should not. Whatever he was playing on a Team USA, like under 18 team or whatever that was.
Destroying people.
What were those highlights? He should have gone to the draft this year. He probably would have been a top pick. This guy was. He would have went one. Yeah, he looks nuts.
He's
gonna be next after the Cooper Flag stuff and everything. That's who everyone's gonna be talking about.
Oh, they'll be talking about him next year.
Yeah,
that's gonna start because he's gonna be on the USA thing too.
Yeah, and then USA should make him.
No, because it'll be time. It's every 4 years, so he won't get all that. But still, they'll be talking about him.
Right.
For sure. He's talented, man. I mean, listen, we've been talking about our talent or lack of there, versus European. And well, listen, I don't know if you saw those junior highlights, but it looks like America's still ahead. Right. We're winning by like 70 every fucking game. We're fine.
Yeah.
So what? They have a couple guys at the top who are really good. Nikola, Luka. We got our own, man. We got Ant. We got Tatum. We got a lot of shit cooking for us too. You know what I mean? Not that it's like us versus them. We're all together. We're all human beings. But I'm just saying, in terms of American NBA basketball, we got some bright spots here.
Yeah.
AJ, obviously, as well as Cooper Flag. Although AJ, I think, is from, I don't know his last name. Where is it? Where is he fully American? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I looked that up, but
yeah, I'll have to look into that. But I've seen a lot of highlights of him. I actually coached against him in NBA Top 100, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" We had a double team him. We ended up boxing one of him, and this is like in a little,
Well, by the way, can I ask you about the famous Joakim Noah Devin Booker beef about double teaming in a pickup game? How do you feel about that? Remember, D Book was like, "No double teaming in a pickup game." Joakim goes, "Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are."
We dealt with this yesterday. I dealt with this last week playing pickup here. They started leaving a guy on my team and just following me around with these, and then like I'd get the ball and
like a boxing one.
The guy would turn and the other guy would be right there. I'm like, "Yo, what kind of bullshit is this?"
Yeah.
The guy goes, "Yo, we're trying to win, not get off the floor." I was like, I couldn't say anything. I was like, "He's right."
So are you team Joakim or team D Book on that one?
Team Joakim on that.
Yeah,
they win the game. Playing pickup. I'm not just about to let you fry so you feel good and then we have to get off the court and wait for downs. You know what I mean? Like, niggas like, "Yo, we're not putting one guy on you." The one guy did not like it too that was guarding me. He's like, "I don't need how guys will be. I don't need backup." You're like, "Brother, I got 5 over 7.
Yeah.
Something's got to change."
Also, why would you even saying that out loud? Like, "I don't need help. I can guard Austin." Like, you hear that, and now you're going to attack him even more.
No, I'm going at him. No. Now I got the ball. And like I was about to make a play for somebody. I'm not doing that. I'm going right at you. I might even give you a bump I might even give you a shoulder to the face. That's funny, man.
I want to talk about, before we wrap up, Jaylen Brown is having a weird summer after winning the title. Did you like the fact that he was openly upset about the Derek White selection when that's his teammate?
No.
And then after that, sitting courtside for Bronny's game, and then he got caught saying that he's not a pro.
He got caught, and it's clear as day. And
it was so clear that he had to comment on Twitter. He had to like tweet about it.
The only way you would comment on Twitter is if it was real.
Yeah.
If it wasn't real, you wouldn't even feel the need to even respond to it because you'd be like, "Yo, I didn't say that."
Probably just shouldn't have responded anyways.
No, it made it look like you were definitely talking. Because now all we did is really look at what you were saying. Like, he definitely said that.
Yeah,
it's clear as day. First off, shout out to Jaylen Brown, fan of his game.
No, he should be on Team USA, absolutely.
Hooper.
He just won the Eastern Conference MVP, the Finals MVP. Unbelievable run. All I'm saying is, man, it's just like ever since I just feel like...
Well, here, listen, to your point, Eastern Conference and Finals MVP, he definitely should have been Team USA. But close. Because they brought in like the OGs, you didn't need him. You kind of needed the team to be more simplified, which is why Jaylen Brown, before you get personal, is like, brother, they told Kawhi Leonard to go home. Okay? Yeah. Kawhi Leonard's done what you did multiple times. This is a multi-champ and has been defensive player and this and that and all-star. So, and that's like a baby. He's like baby Kawhi Leonard, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they just asked you're the baby version of the guy that they just asked to go home.
Yeah.
So clearly they're like, "Yo, we need to simplify this team. We have too much scoring.
Yeah.
We have a lot of guys that need the ball. We need guys who are going to be not playing games. A guy like Derek White. And just guys who are just going to play defense and who can spot shoot. Jaylen Brown's a better player than Derek White. We know this.
Yeah.
But we have Tatum right there, and we have Anthony Edwards and
And by the way,
Booker.
Really quick, I forget sometimes Tatum's on the team. That's how good this team is. Right. Where I'm like, Tatum's not even.
And you have a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, Steph, all these guys, right? So when those guys have the ball, Jaylen Brown's a lot of things, even though he's better than Derek White. Can he shoot better than Derek White from 3? No. He's not a better catch and shooter. And that's what they need. They need catch and shoot, guys who can get on the floor, and the ball swings them. It's a quick shot, straight line drive pass. They don't need a guy to pump fake, jab, cross.
Let's be real.
We got 7 of those.
What they also need is a guy that's going to be okay with just being on the bench for a lot of these games.
100%. And that's why when they had Kawhi there, it's like, yo, we have a little bit too much. We're having trouble finishing games here. We got too many guys that we don't know how to handle these. Right. This is too much. Kawhi, you got to go home. That's what that was. Just putting it blatant, period. So should Jaylen Brown be frustrated because he did win Eastern Conference and Finals MVP? And does he feel like he should have a right to be on the team? Absolutely. But brother, they went and got Stephen and Kevin Durant and LeBron and all these guys. So like, you just got to understand, it was either you or like a Tatum. They went with Tatum, which went back to my point in the first place when everybody's like, Jaylen Brown's the best. No, he's not. Tatum's the best player on the team. Jaylen Brown, you played exceptional in the playoffs, which is why you won both awards. I thought Tatum should have won the Finals MVP, but they gave it to Brown, and that's fine because what he was doing defensively, they felt like along that with his offense and everything that he had going, he should be that guy. That tells you he's an exceptional player. He has a right to feel the way he feels on USA basketball. But it is what it is, and they went that way. You, especially with it being your teammate, you definitely shouldn't have said anything. secondly, you shouldn't have said anything with Nike because it ain't gonna help. So now next Olympics,
Nike was gonna tweet you back and be like, "Good call, Show up in Vegas. We'll get you."
No, so now, and you added them. You added Nike.
Yeah.
So it's like, so now, like next Olympics in 4 years from now, Jalen, you'll still be up for that. You'll be one of the premier players in the league still in 4 years. I'd have to imagine. They ain't calling you again.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if you didn't get it this time, why don't you say what a report should have came out that like members of Jaylen Brown's camp are frustrated that he wasn't involved, and he looks forward to hopefully being involved in the future.
Wow,
that's how you come out with something like that.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been best case scenario. But you're like, Nike, this is what we doing, brother. Now they're not inviting you 4 years from now.
Right.
You're making it look like you sorry that your teammate went in there, which is weird. So now you have to come out and say I'm in support of Derek. Now you have to do all this extra shit.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with the Bronny comments. He's over there courtside, bro. You're sitting with your girlfriend and fucking, what's her name?
Angel Reese.
There's going to be cameras on you. You over there talking about, I don't think Bronny's really a pro. And then the other girl shaking her head like, what'd she say? She said like,
he might be in the G League, I think.
Which is comedy.
Well, I'm not a lip reader, but I'm just, wait, there's nothing wrong with having an abstract basketball conversation. I guess what you're saying is when you're courtside, it's just tough. Maybe you should do the cover of the mouth situation. Like, what do you?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
And then if you do, don't come out and say like, I love Bronny and love what they're doing. It's inspiring. Like, bro. Just enjoy your, bro. You got all the motion, man. You got your pretty little girl. You know, you got your girl. You know, you got the $300 million contract. You're an NBA champ. You're Finals MVP, Eastern Conference MVP. Go enjoy your summer. Why don't you go to Italy? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Go travel the world.
See you on a hammock over a waterfall. Like, just go do your thing.
And build a basketball court in the background and train there for the summer. Do what you have to do.
Take a page out of Jimmy Butler's book. He didn't make Team USA. He's out there. He's playing tennis and then he's riding a volcano. I don't know. The guy's Jimmy Butler is insane. The international man of mystery.
But there's just so many things you could go do.
Yeah, blonde dreads and a...
So, yeah, I just, you got to be more careful in that. That's just two big mistakes I saw by a guy who's not really a guy I take to do that because he's very smart.
Right.
People who don't know about Jaylen Brown is this guy's like a scholar, you know.
You're at the Cal.
Yeah, and he like is in robotics and all different types of shit and goes to, you know, tech meetings and all conventions and all different types of shit, right?
Go ahead and say he's an intellectual.
He is. Yeah. He does have high intellect, and he's a guy that presents himself that way. That's why he's heavily involved in the NPPA. That's why he's heavily involved in stuff outside of basketball, whether it's stuff in the community. He's heavily involved in a variety of stuff, right? So we know he's a smart guy. So him making these type of mistakes where you're like, you're courtside sitting next to Angel Reese, he knows that. He knows the camera's going to be on him. And he did say something about Bronny. And it's tough because the video clearly shows him saying that. Now he's got to...
And poor Bronny, man, this guy's just... I can't even imagine. I mean, listen, you got a lot of hate with, you know, you're playing for your father and stuff. This guy's getting it on a level of... I got Cameron and Mace talking about him. I have... It's anywhere you look. He's leading Sports Center. He's leading all these things.
It doesn't help that he's playing like...
tough,
he's playing like absolute... He's not playing good, man.
He had his first good game last night.
And that's
5-11 from the
5
field,
for
12
11,
points.
12 points is still not, it's not fantastic.
But if you're gonna rip him when he plays bad, we gotta clap for him when he does that, though. That's how I feel.
It's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start. I don't think that's a good game. I think that's a solid game, which is his first one, by the way.
Build on it.
That's where we go. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is what we said earlier. The Summer League is a big denominator, but it is not the end all be all. All right. It's just one factor. It's an important factor, but not the only factor. So, you know, Bronny's got a guaranteed contract. He's going to get his time. He's going to have a whole training camp. He's going to have a whole preseason. And then he's going to have multiple games where he does not play, but he gets to sit and watch and just see this. He'll be fine. He'll be all right. I'm not really worried about Bronny. Am I surprised that he's not ready now? No. He averaged 4 points last year at USC. He wasn't a pro. So he ain't a pro right now. Will he be? Yes, I do believe he will. I just do. He has the genetics. He's a freak athlete. It's only a matter of time. Him being in the gym every single goddamn day, practicing, you know, the guys who don't play, they have to get there early. They have to play 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 1-on-1, shooting, this, but they work you like a dog. That fucker will end up being a pro and a solid one. I promise you.
How do you feel about JJ Redick comparing him to Lou Dort type of player?
Lou Dort is 6'5", 230 pounds.
Right.
No. Do I think he could be a Davion Mitchell? Yes. Yeah. That's a better comp for me. Davion Mitchell, Sacramento Kings, that's good comp.
Yeah, a lot of people said Deuce McBride from the Knicks. That kind of guy.
Good comp.
Yeah.
Solid defender, active, capable scorer, can hit a three if you leave him open. Got a good little shot on him. That's what I think Bronny could be. I really do believe Bronny will be a serviceable, solid NBA player. I have no doubt in my mind. He's going to get better and better. Man, that fucker's going to be in the gym every day with LeBron James, getting pushed by his dad, getting coached by JJ and all these guys, playing in and out of the G League, top talent, every day in practice, playing before the game, after the game, traveling, watching, getting a first-class ticket every day to see the greatest player. Man, are you kidding me?
I guess what you're saying is, too, for players that you don't know what they have going on off the court and you want to bet on them, we know what's going on with this kid off the court.
This guy has everything set up. He has no distraction. He has everything there. They're going to put everything into him.
Right.
He's going to be fine. He'll end up being a solid I think he could be a Davion Mitchell, McBride, undersized, but knows how to defend because he's athletic, can jump, can leap, get to the basket, maybe finish a layup, can pass, play smart basketball, hit an open three. Bronny will be able to do that. I have no doubt in my mind. So I actually like the pick by the Lakers. If it wasn't them, it didn't make sense for him to be in the league at this point because he wasn't ready yet. But if you're going to have a team invest in him and it's his father and everything that's got set up there, I think it's a smart pick to take. I think he could end up being actually a solid little NBA player. So Summer League is one thing, but we'll listen. It's coming to a wrap here in the coming weeks, and then we're going to get right into the the nitty gritty. We have a little gray area in the summer where it's like really dead. We got nothing going on, and then before you know it, training camp. Yeah. So summer's flying by us, man. Crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I can't wait though. I can't wait for Team USA to be in that tough game where it's not single game elimination knockout stage where maybe Shea or somebody's going off, and I want to see them in a pickle.
You want to see who steps up and who's creaming the crop still.
I love stuff like that.
I want to see who's the guy.
Yeah.
Because he always shows himself.
Yeah.
Listen, for people wondering whose team it is, we can all say it's LeBron's because it is.
He's calling the huddles after the game.
Oh, yeah. Katie, give him more.
How cool is that video? I think that video, that's so cool to see them do that. It is like the cool, like we always talk about.
Steps in the background just I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss playing with that guy. He was incredible. We were really good. That's all it looked like. Steph, they showed that clip of LeBron telling Katie to get one more. Katie just turns a foot two behind the three, launches, doesn't hit the fucking rim, turns back. The rest of the huddle just sit there and laugh because they're just like, this dude isn't even playing right now. He's just messing around, but he's just KD. He's just a bucket wherever he's at. They just all smile. You could just smile and laugh. And you see Steph's face, and he's just like... It just looked like right in that moment he was just having one of those, like, you remember TV show Raven where she just have like a vision?
Yeah.
He just had like a little vision flashback of just what the hell he got to do with him and Clay and Draymond and that era. But yeah, really cool clip. LeBron's definitely running the show.
I really hope there's like some kind of a Last Dance team, like documentary style, people following this team around.
There definitely has to be.
10 years from now, you're going to want to see that video. Same with the Redeem team and all that stuff.
Be something there.
Yeah.
Look at us already talking about documentaries. We have to win.
It's
getting crazy. We're talking about all this. The documentary in this.
The documentary is going to be unbelievable.
We're getting really cocky right now. We're getting a little bit. Calm down.
I'm a little excited
because there will be a game. Back to the point where things aren't going well. We're gonna be like, uh-oh, and that guy will have to be present. We saw it with even the Redeem team. We're playing Spain. It gets a little chippy. Kobe got out there and was like, I got us. You know what I mean? And we all knew it was going to be him. Even though LeBron and KD and Melo and all these other guys were putting scoring, we all knew when it got tight, that ball was going to that dude. We all knew Black Mamba was getting that ball, hitting the shot, he was the man.
Yeah.
He closed that. That's what's so fun to see the top guys.
My guess it's KD. It's going to be KD. I've seen him do it already in the Olympics multiple times.
How great though would it be if it was Ant? How great would it be if he's just hitting the shots? People be like, holy shit.
The Timberwolves would be my favorite to win the title.
Yeah, people would just be like, we got one.
Yeah.
We already know we got one, but still, it'd just be like, saw Adidas come out with a 9-figure number. They're like, yo, we're all in.
Yeah.
This is it.
Hey, by the way, we talked about it before, but it got announced again that they're doing a documentary kind of quarterback style with all the players, and Ant's one of them. I know it's
they said Ant's going to be the features. He's going to be the guy who has the most.
Because you got cameras, and like you were his teammate. You told me this guy's the funniest guy in the world. They brought the cameras out, and they got a glimpse of what you got to see.
The show wasn't going to happen unless he was going to be the main character for first. So everyone's going to have their time, but he's going to have the most.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, and that's by design. You put a camera in him, he's going to say the dude is just entertainment all the time.
Yeah.
He's funny as hell. He is a character. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. We've seen it with golf. Obviously, it's been huge. Netflix pretty much made Formula One popular in America. It'll be cool for Netflix to have this stuff for the NBA just because places outside of the America which basketball's popular all over, but there's places out there who might not be familiar. Now you can go to Netflix and have access to it. I think it's really cool when they do stuff like this. It gives fans a chance to see the background of these guys, the mental that goes into being an NBA player. And all it just isn't handles and dunks and threes. There's so much that goes into it. You've seen it up close. So that'll be dope. Pretty good on time.
That's a long time. By the way, I saw the movie Challengers. You told me to watch that?
It's a weird fucking movie.
It's definitely weird.
I
love anything about sports, obviously.
I know. I didn't like the movie.
It
went from being really good early on, where I thought this was gonna be like really cool, and then the scene when they're like all into it, I was like, this might be a little wild movie. I can get into this. You know what I mean? We got a couple scenes of her getting active. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was gonna be a little, and then
sports always is gonna grab you.
And then it just got like weird. They just like played at the end, and she's cheering for both, and then like both like start hugging. She's like, yes.
Well, hopefully, by the way, spoiler alert, if this makes the pod, you're like,
if you haven't seen the movie by now, I'm not spoiling anything. It's been out for like months.
Is there an expiration date on a spoiler alert? If it's been out for
I'm definitely past expert. If it's been available on iTunes now for months, I'm past spoiler alert. Challengers is not a good movie.
Right.
I didn't like it. The first 30 minutes of it, I'm like, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
And then like the last hour of it, I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Right.
What is that? But anyways, whatever. Listen, we'll be back next week. Y'all have a safe weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. The Off Guard. The Off Guard podcast. Please follow us. That's all I need to do. I need to like smooth jazz live. Right.
I think you're like that when we do an iPod. This one's recorded during the day. You're a little more.
We'll be back next week. Make sure to follow us, the Off Guard podcast, on TikTok and on Instagram. Most importantly, like, subscribe, listen to us on Apple, Spotify. We are there. Build this out with us. Y'all have a safe week, safe weekend. We will see y'all next week. Be easy.